Welcome and thank you for listening to the Abu Dhabi Transparency House. I'm here with Manuela from Zoraya.
Yes,
Am I
correct.
pronouncing that correctly?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you for being here, also at the Dutch Pavilion, where we have several topics we are discussing these days: water, food and energy. I know that you want to talk about water, so please tell me.
What do you like to know?
Well, for instance, what does your company stand for?
Our company stands for drinking water. We are selling spring water and natural carbonated water, which we are obtaining from two sources in the high mountains, which is the Rhodope Mountains in Bulgaria. As these mountains are very high located and we have no agricultural land, nor we have traffic there, our water, you could say, is very high quality water, which we...
So what makes water high of quality? I mean, there's water everywhere in the world, so what makes this water so different?
This water is very different because it comes from a source. Explained before, there is no agricultural land, nor there is traffic there. So there are no emissions, nor there are chemicals into our water. And our water can also be seen as very young water, which comes from the rain, of course, in the mountains. And it is obtained between 0 and 100 meters. So it doesn't have enough time to go deep into the soil, which makes our water also very low mineralized. And as our water is very low mineralized, it is very beneficial for a certain group of people in our society. Think about infants and think about people with some diseases. For example, diabetics are people who have kidney problems, but also high blood pressure.
So it has to do with the low level of salt? Is that how I can interpret?
Also with a low level of salts. The acidity in our water is around 7.5, which is very good. And also the salt levels in our spring water is between 2.8, the lowest what we have seen, until to be very exactly 3.34. That's the highest what we have seen, because we are dealing here with spring water, and spring water can never ever have the same components. It is always different. So every batch we obtain can have different components. It's a reality.
I've learned very recently also, I think water has become more popular because
Correct.
people say it also, instead of drinking other things, water is the basis of life, so you need to drink more water, it's more healthy.
Correct.
But you are saying that it's not only healthy to just drink water, but it's also very healthy to drink your water, mainly for people who have certain
diseases, yes. So if you have some kind of other diseases, for example, if you have low blood pressure and you need to drink more, you need to use more salt, I would say use another brands. Then we are fair.
But mostly you are supplying bottled waters for drinking, for normal consumption.
For daily consumption.
Daily consumption.
Correct.
So what I've also heard is that drinkable water is very scarce in the world because it's not everywhere located. So you also have discussions about where you produce it. Maybe it is retracted from the soil, but it can also affect plant life. It can even make rivers run dry for agricultural purposes or something like that. But you said there is no agriculture there, but the water must go somewhere. So you're taking it from A, you're bringing it to consumers.
Correct.
So
we're distributing it.
is there absolutely no in between that's having a downside for this water?
Well, that's why we strive for sustainability. That's why we're also participating in it, because we do not only want to make people more aware of the quality of our water and what they are drinking, but we also want to make it clear and the awareness in our society that we need to think about the future. One of the things we are doing is the sustainability, so we will make sure that we can continue. Our springs will have enough water. And other thing what we are doing is we are introducing our bagging box, which is recyclable. A bagging box, you could say, if you come from the shipping side, you know the flexi tanks is a translation from the flexi tanks, but now into a bagging box, where we transport water in a more efficient way.
So the water is generated in an environment where it has no downside for the environment itself.
Correct.
You're retracting it from a, let's say, close to the surface source.
Correct.
Which means that it's got less minerals in it.
Yes.
Therefore, it's less, I can say, salty also.
It's less salty and it's more healthy.
So
it
you
can
don't
be
need
used.
to add chemicals?
No, you don't need to add chemicals. That's why it's called spring water.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and that's, not everybody knows that, of course, but so to say, you're having a very sustainable source for a lot of people, but this is only one mountain we're talking about? We're talking about more.
We are only talking about one mountain we have, where we own 2 springs. And from these springs we have then all the, I'm not sure what the English word is, I'm very sorry, but we can produce the water from there. We can obtain the water from this mountain.
Well, it's very nice.
So it's a very niche market for us.
Exactly, yes. So there's not so many competitors in the market, because there's little places where you have this close to people who have to make use of it.
Correct.
Okay, it's great to hear a story about a water company which is actually so sustainable, that doesn't need a lot of processing, that's also low in salt so that it can help children or elderly people that have certain diseases which require them to drink less salty.
Correct.
But most of all, it's about providing a sustainable source.
Yeah, sustainable packing, sustainable source, and for daily use, especially for pregnant women and children until 7 years.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you very much.
It's really inspiring because there's so many things you hear about water.
Yes.
This is a very clear source, very sustainable business model. So I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.